Okay, I'm gonna get on mic, guys. Okay, I'm gonna get on mic, guys. Okay, I think I've got it set up enough. Because I am a failure at being able to speak on the mic, and you guys know that there's a thing that happens for a lot of people. It's called, where you choke. You'll see it with public speakers too, that, if they're going through a rough time, they'll literally choke. They'll just be there at the lectern with, wait, just give it a moment. You guys just let me know. Okay, good. All right, that's the first step, I guess. So I'll just repeat what I was on, how I was opening up this, that not everyone is a public speaker. Not everyone is a campaign stumper. Not everyone has the ability to influence through their charm. And I fall into those three categories. And it would almost look obvious that I should be able to, walk up to a lectern and share my opinions. But the way that my life is, I have very narrow opinions because I have rules. So I have kind of switched off many, many years ago to not have an opinion, but to have a rule set, a way in which I live. So yesterday, what I learned was that my rule set, the way that, and of course a lot of this goes back to the way that, one is raised, or the way that one becomes an adult, the way that one survives in their life. And some of you know a little bit about that process of living well from my own storytelling. Yesterday left me with such an unpreparedness. We knew that there was a sea change coming. We've been talking about it. We've been warning one another, trying to be more informed yet lighthearted about it, so that we would not be harmed. And yesterday, there was a hot poker of medieval times that went through our spleen of consciousness. And there's no coming back. And, what one man can do, another can do, and this is what they rely on. And that has put it's a wedge into our consciousness. And yesterday I saw that each one of us, I put in the chat that each one of us has this unique ability to deal with harm. And what he was doing yesterday harms me because I'm a member of caring, kind people. And this is what they do not want. They do not want caring, kind people. We can see that clearly. Yet to shelter ourselves from that, it is not something that is possible. We cannot be an architect of this kind of change because we've already been through it in our ages. We've already seen it. And it would be just so odd that it would happen here on Memorial Day, that for me to tell you my storytelling of marching against the Vietnam War and what that's like in a core part of the country, to have parents that wrote letters, conscientious objector letters, to be a child of an officer, to know that there are things that are needed. Like, we needed this space in order to, I guess, act as a message that change was happening. And that's all. And it's very difficult for me to punctuate it in that way, but that is all that Chat Only served to do, is in service to do. I did not want to be shamed. But you see, guys, I didn't want to be shamed. And what we saw yesterday was everyone was shamed. Everyone. And I cannot, nor is it even possible for us to be the bomb shelter for change. So when I say that we can adapt and not adopt, this is one way that we can kind of walk through the world knowing that we are in opposition of this, but we don't have any weapons. We have no weapons, yes. And what will happen is that they are going through every single person. And I know that this they, we know who they is, and they can just shut the fuck up about who the they is. They know who the they is. If we need to speak in Latin or speak in French, that we will explain to them who the they is, and they can just shut the fuck up about who the they is. Any reaction in this space, being that our core is to think kindly and do everything that we can toward the missing ones. And anyone outside of that they deem a target will be shamed, will be harmed, and every kind of thought, whether we are artists, whether we are thinkers, observers, knowers of things, they will come for us. A couple days ago, I talked about Marshall McLennan, where we will become the content. And we hear quite a bit about this. So in doing that, they can open us up to any kind of laugh track. And I do want to read your comments, and it's not to pull one person out from another. And I know that someone that knows truly how to use their words, someone that knows how to express themselves, is here with us. And we can't do it without people that know how to do this. I do not know how to do this. It's just not something that I'm schooled at, yet I know some of the wisest people that work at this every day. I do not work at this every day. So even to explain to you that, number one, I know we can't be a bomb shelter. It's not like we're not prepared for that, but we are not the womb for the wounded. We are not the womb for the wounded. And what happened yesterday came into my, the fiber of the fibers, the tissue, the muscle of everything that I am. And there is no meme, there's no laugh track, there's no looking at it to see it from a different vantage. But they want us to do this outside of the womb, outside of, like, we only met each other. We're in kindergarten, you know? We're supposed to be learning about one another, and Mimi, and I call you Elizabeth, Soleil. We're just babies in all of this. The internet takes time for us to know each other. And this has nothing to do with trust. I've had this conversation so many times. Oh, it's a trust economy and all of this. And yes, it is, okay? But trust takes time. And these people have been here for just a moment. And this is the kind of destruction that they are willing to explore. For them, it's entertainment. Imagine that. This is a laugh track for them. So when I power up or chat only is coming, you guys know, it's 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day. And we've seen this. It's been, I would say that it's been the #1 topic that we've discussed for now 60 days. About what in the hell are they doing? Why are they doing this? How could this possibly be the metaphor for the missing ones? How could this be the poster? Remember what they went after? They went after the money, the billboards, the attention seeking. They went after all of the core ways in which, and we know that one among us knows how these campaigns work. Marketing is, they may not say that they have marketed themselves, but they have marketed all of this and gone into every corner. And they've robbed us today. So earlier in the chat, I laid out a few things, and I told you that myself and Quiet had a serious conversation, and so that you know, when you've been with someone for as long as we've been together, we do not have to spend hours. He knows. And his idea, which I believe is the right way to be thinking about this, is that this is a sea change, and we have to adapt and not adopt, because everything in between is so unique between us. We're all at such different places. Some of us can take on, some of us can't. We need time. So we're all very unique in even how we would come to terms with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and just read what I wrote out in chat. I said, we are in the midst of change, to find ourselves unable to adapt well enough to survive. To know that a mindset has set us captive to that change is upsetting. But at its core, we are witnessing change. It is not of us and not from us. Adapting, not adopting, is our responsibility. And so that you know, I am parsing this out not because of any pre-written script, but to make a slower impact from my heart. We know how it changed, but we do not have to be made part of it. But we do have to adapt going forward. There are several ways or methods we can adapt, and some were shared yesterday. But they are all unique, and even so, their timing is unique. Because, well, we each hold a heartbreak in different ways. And I can say that we are all heartbroken. When we quiet ourselves from the anger, we are heartbroken to our core. So what does this look like? We can sit in somberness until the shuddering. We can shutter early and leave our thoughts as a sentry. Yesterday, of course, I was once again proud of all of you. To have one place where shelter from harm is possible. But we are not a bomb shelter. We can't altogether serve ourselves well in that place. I do believe in many ways all of you are what may be considered warriors of your own peace. And then I gave the floor up. I did close out the Nightbot. And that's what I've said until I'm waiting to see what it is what your thoughts are. I'll go ahead and read some of the ideas. We hear from, I'll start from the beginning. Soleil says, I'm not sure how I feel about things yet. I have been processing a bit. Mimi says, did some thinking too. Regardless of how I feel about a creator, I have to say things that I do not agree with, even with the consideration that I might be rejected. Mimi says, to be rejected from a group that do not match my values is fine with me. Mimi says, I can say that yesterday was way out there with the proof that we are being played by people that have no good intentions. Mimi says, to be laughed at, being called retards for not finding humor in a garbage stream, being accused of fake outrage. Soleil says, I kind of agree with Mimi's sentiments here. Mimi says, playing games with people's trauma. And now for Bowdy. I am gay. I have a few trans men in my life from that community, and his opinion would have to matter to me. I do not care if he wants to display his ignorance for all to see. However, making jokes about someone struggling with pronouns might seem harmless to some people, but for others it reinforces shame, exclusion, and the idea that their identity is something to mock. Respect costs nothing. A little patience and empathy can make people feel safe instead of targeted. He is not a safe person. Soleil says, it's not harmless at all, and to not only reject the idea of the words being harmful, but to also use it to be cruel. So, unless you want to hear from me on the mic, just let me know, and then I'll close things out for I'll just wait a moment. So what works better for you guys? Do you want me to stay on the mic? Okay. Yeah, like I have no problem with dead space at all. And maybe it's easier to absorb what's happened. And there is no practical, just like there was no practical way in. As we could see it happening, there was no practicality. There was no rule book. And as I was saying earlier, you know, I live by a rule set. And for this to be so outside of the bounds, and I think that probably some of you have seen this happen in your real life over and over. And to find out that we are still, you know, like everything has been abbreviated because of this. None of us have been able to go forward. None of this is forward at all. None of what they do is modern, forward, one of renaissance, one of breakthrough, one of change, a sea change, a civil change. None of it is. This is all so regressive. It is so, when I say medieval and the, you know, the hot poker to the spleen, this is medieval. And the suffering is medieval. That's how shocking this was yesterday. How did they have us be brought here? And I would have just, like, the Alaska has been with me since the first moment. Mimi's been here with me from the first moment. Soleil's been with me for the first moment. We've all been together there. We would think, oh no, you know, we have the armament of age and wisdom and experience in our life. We can handle this. We can handle it. There's nothing that they can do that we don't know is possible. But the craftiness of this has been one of a masterclass. I was saying to Quiet, and because I have personal relationships with people, what would he have thought if he knew that one of the legendary voices in modern new media is Rob Greenlee? For me to give Rob that link, I did not give him a disclaimer. I did not give him a warning. He knows exactly what I'm doing here. And if he had known that I'll say it again, one of the wisest persons to bring voice in and out is Rob Greenlee, that would this person go on a panel? Would this person go into a room where there are thoughtful, mindful people that are absolutely 100% committed to this new way that we can be with ourselves. Would he speak like this? Because at some point we have to have reverence in a way. Reverence for the technology, reverence for, of course, each other, reverence for what's possible. And it's not like, oh, did you know that your mom heard you? Do you know that your mother overheard this? They've even gone to the point where we need to doubt our parents. We need to doubt them. We need to place absolute shame on their name all the time. So they've kept us as babies. They've kept us as babies to be shamed. And they are having us eat the worst kind of pablum and have us be prattlers. All we can do is prattle. This is why the chat is so powerful, because we can actually give each other the time to use our words. How many times have we heard them read back something in chat and they go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So they're going after everything about who we are and how we communicate. I don't know what part of anthropology that they have not touched. Let's do something interesting here. Something that you know that I love to do is know what things are. So, because I've seen this before, that the opinion of one is how we walk through life. If I have a poor opinion of you, then your opinion makes no matter. There is no peace that's lost, because my opinion of you is so low. But let's understand what the word opinion really is, if you don't mind. We're going to do a little kind of a Latin study about this so that we know, because it's a very easy thing to say. And it does protect us, doesn't it? And they're using it quite a bit. They don't give a fuck about your opinion. They don't give a fuck. Having no idea why is it and how do we form opinion? How do we do that? How do we know that it's deep enough, that once again it has enough fiber to survive your opinion? And how did I say earlier that my rule set has so little to do about opinion? Why is that, beauty? How could that possibly be? And I've taken opinion and I've put it literally in the trash, because it cannot be trusted for me. Opinion. It has no legs. It has no worthiness. It has no seaworthiness. Opinion. And I replaced it with rules. But this is me. But I see this quite a bit about opinion. An opinion, this is an AI overview, just looking up the word opinion. An opinion is a subjective judgment, viewpoint, or belief about a matter. Unlike objective facts, opinions are shaped by personal feelings, experiences, or values rather than conclusive proof, because they rely on individual perception. They cannot be proven definitively true or false. Opinion. So I'm going to raise my voice just a little bit. That is why, for me, having walked away from opinion had to happen. Because my life has been all about adaptation. Adapting to. Having to adopt. Adapt, then adopt. Adapt, then adopt. All throughout my life. So, I could read a little bit more. Explore the different dimensions of an opinion. Personal viewpoints. What you think or believe about something. This spans from preferences, vanilla is the best flavor, to strong judgments on life or art. Those are your personal viewpoints. Judgments of character. Your personal assessment of someone's abilities, trustworthiness, or traits. And the third one being expert professional opinions, formal judgments given by professionals such as a second medical evaluation from a doctor or a legal decision handed down by a judge. So this idea that an opinion can influence what you take in on yourself or not is a very important one, but it cannot be all of it. And for me, it lacks seaworthiness. Because these opinions that they hold are becoming forever part of this community. So it's definitely more than opinion. What is happening is more than an opinion. It is a full-blown judgment. They are using opinion as a soft landing, but they have put a judgment on us that is much more complicated than holding an opinion. What we saw yesterday was someone, I've always found gaming chairs. I don't personally own a gaming chair, but I've always found gaming chairs to be like these faux thrones. My gaming chair. My throne of influence. A cooling system on your computer. A big tower so you can play games. Light bars and disco balls. And now what do we have to look at every day? Is someone inebriating themselves, relieving themselves of thoughtfulness. Thank you, Mimi. So now that becomes okay, legal. I love that one. Everything is legal under their flag. Everything is legal. That's not against terms of service. That's within terms of service. We like it over here because we can do this and that and the other. We like it here. Now, it wouldn't be so important, and maybe that's a better way of looking at it, that this person is unimportant. I used to say this thing about, it's hard for me to even repeat it now because there's so much in my life that's changed, but that there's goodness in all of us. And that was to say, because so many people in the beginning of the internet, that it would be impossible to parse who is good and who is bad, who is righteous and who is evil. It would be impossible to do that. So it was better for me to say that there's goodness in everyone. Until this. There's no goodness in what they're portraying. There's no goodness in their message. There is no goodness in their rule set. I thought I would never come across where I had to say that. And I've been in forums that are rough. And even then, I still said that there was goodness. You know? Disclaimers don't work. This is adult content, so if you're not adult, if you're not adult enough to take it, then you can fuck off. You know. So I grew up with a family that went to the theater, went to the opera. I personally have been to some of the greatest opera houses of the world. And maybe the first time that I ever saw Mephistopheles was, well, I was definitely around 6, but it could have been even earlier than that. Believe you me, I'm adult enough. This is not adult. This is not adult entertainment. What they're trying to portray. Maybe when you know the demon, it's more obvious. And maybe we have become soft toward things because we all want to be, over and over I hear this, that we all want to be made part of something. It's tremendous fun, you know? Like, I've had the best time with everyone here. And in our silly ways, we're able to just say a ha-ha, and it means the world, you know? Like, the unfurling, what I call the unfurling of the chat is one of the most marvelous things ever, that we can actually care about one another, learn about one another, laugh with one another with just with simple words. It's just an absolute marvel. So maybe we have become a little soft, and then of course we have to take their hammer as the I banned so and so, get out of here, fucking why are you here, you fuck shit, and all of this sort of thing. And they can just ban us without ceremony, just completely ban, mute, report, get the fuck out of here. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why am I fucking here in your fucking chat? Because I want to fucking say something. That's why I'm fucking here. But it becomes a complete ownership, right? We've been able to do this without any moderation. We started off with a blacklist because I didn't want to mention JLR. I didn't want to have it be, it was a big topic then. We had just come off of the beginning of Nancy Guthrie's Missing, and he said, use my content, and I used his fucking content. And when the whole thing happened with the girlfriend, I was like, I'm not too sure. If anyone had done any history checking, I just didn't want us to become consumed. So we call them Arkansas, male or female, Arkansas. They're just Arkansas people. And then about the media company. I didn't want to have it mentioned. I didn't want us to mention them because if you go back in history, it's an absolute laughable notion that they're even part of media. So we call them the media company. We came up with these code words to engage with one another so that we could be safe, I guess, right? I couldn't do that with you guys yesterday. There were no code words. There was no going back in their history and knowing what they're all about. This has happened so fast. There is no, I don't even, JLR served, I don't know how many years he served, 10 years in federal prison. We can't go back and go, yeah, okay, lardy darn, this and that and the other. We couldn't go back with these people because they've created their own reality. They've created what they want us to know, which is their right on the internet. Fine enough and go and do. But they could see that people wanted to know more of. It's so horrible to say more of the truth. I do not need to know any more of their truth. I do not. But they gamed us. They absolutely played us, and they harmed us yesterday. So they played with us like we're fucking mice, and then they killed us off. They poisoned everything about who we are yesterday. We have the right to create our reality here any way that we want. So many times people would say, how come you don't show your face, Beauty? Go on my YouTube channel. You can see my face. You can see me talk about art and color and fashion and makeup and everything else if you'd like to. Then if you'd like to, you can follow my journey as a trader. You can do that too. But this whole real name, real face, do this, do that, come to us as we want you to come to. No. We get to come as we are, how we want to be, when we want to be, at any fucking time. It is our right. Persona is our right. Being ourselves is our right. Changing venue is our right. But what they have crafted and created, I don't know if it is their right. This is where my struggle is. I do not think that it is their right. They walked into a building of pain. And they themselves don't know how to get out of it. And so what are they doing? They're exploiting pain, Soleil says. They're willing to continue destroying who they touch, says Mimi. Soleil says they really have created their own reality, but they're trying to force others to play along with their fantasy world. So Lay says they can go be part of the prison system. They say there can be goodness within everyone, but also coexisting, evil coexisting, pardon me. Mimi says their opinion of freedom of speech that in my world equate harassment. So it's all so serious. What do we do? Yep, prideful, boastful, congratulatory. And now they're on a platform that they can, they can make everything move and sing and be so shattering. The blinking lights and all of this sort of thing. Pardon me. What are we to do? Because see, even as our life goes through every day, you're going to have moments where it's just not top of mind. This is not, I don't see myself taking on a personal campaign. I'm trying to lean on people that may have a broader idea of how to be a good creator, right? I'm still a creator on the platform. How do you be a good creator? Because see, any part of wisdom it's not in them. Yeah. Well, as we watched each of the chat-worthy creators power up yesterday, and it would only be Joneson at the very end that made a laugh track of it, that would even show what he did. I think that's a thing, kind of when I clicked off and everything, that part of it really bothered me. That they've been able to muzzle everybody. That is a skill. So, without getting too kitschy, even that is it's not a mindset, it's a muzzle. That's why I keep going back to the whole idea that this is medieval. It's a fucking muzzle that they put on us. On everybody. And on the other side, what the creators have done in order to insulate and protect themselves is that they go on for hours and hours and hours. And just so that you know, this takes away from your family. You can think that, oh, I'm still doing my thing, but I don't see how that's really possible. It's been a topic even in my household where, boldly enough, I can say I can do whatever I want. This is what I decided that I wanted to do. But when you have, your charges, and you have your minors, you have pets, you have roof tiles, you have a pool to take care of, you have a life to take care of, and you're on here just to keep your standing 7, 8, 9 hours, just to keep your standing. There's really nothing happening. You're really good at, how you're able to express yourself and all that. You're really good at it, and you can keep going. But you're taking time away just to stay on the train. No one's getting off, guys. No one's walking, no one's getting off. They're jumping from their main account to a secondary account. They're staying online longer. To me, in the beginning, it was obvious that they're doing, summer is very expensive, that they're just staying online to get a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a cash up for what the expenses are in the summertime. They have their analytics. They know what their trends are. They know when things drop off, when things don't drop off. And so you have to double down. This particular business, as a business, allows you to double down in light of all of the other shit that's happening. So it's like you're on, what they call them, a shit canoe or something. I don't know. I just don't know how we're gonna so let's just kind of talk business for a moment. We had committed, or I had committed, to going to the end of the month, and that our last session would be the last day of the month would be the 6 p.m. PST session, presumably to go until 8 p.m. PST, which then we would go ahead and we would close out and shutter chat only. From that point, it was to look at all of the statistics just to see if there was anything that I could glean from what the potential trend is where people want to return to a feed and that they want to have a chat. You have heard me also say that this would be fantastic if the secondary channels for some of these creators was a chat only position. Overflow, in a way, to allow for their creators to be unmoderated, or for the subscribers and viewers to be unmoderated, unparsed, unshamed. Just let the flow of conversation occur, because you know that my idea here, which has always been my idea, and many others, is that chat is king. Your audience and your viewers are absolute the essence of. They power your motivation. But it seems to work the opposite now, this trend of pulling out and shaming, and now people are reviewing and screenshotting. We've even, done the quotes, right, to get things kind of thinking about things, and did you see that person just said that, or so and so is in the chat, and yes, of course, absolutely right. Mimi bringing up a very good point that they are implying that the chat is the enemy. Why not? So they're going through absolutely everything. Every X, every O, absolutely all of it. And they won't know where the end is. And I think that this comes out of acceptance and reward. It has to. They have the acceptance, and then they're given the reward from the platforms. So, what do you think that I should just make one decision and we stay with that decision? So, like, I haven't done any scouting at all. The chat that we have is the chat coming out of Arlington Cemetery. So we have J for Justice. She's live. Let's see who else. JLR is live. Attorney Melanie Little is live. Evil CJ Media is live. This is just on my front page. There's some lolcow, I guess that the lolcow University. Let's see here. Going over to my notifications. I have a couple podcasts that have come up. Crafters probably working on things for the summertime. YouTube secrets, etc., etc. So nothing too much there. My idea, and maybe it should be this way, like I had said, I keep saying that, right? But because it's all part of the project, that you have to go back and look at the project and look at where your position was and what you were thinking about and how you actually put it out there, was that I did know that I had to go on mic. It was about how to do it, and it's just really hard. You're either on the mic or you're not on the mic. That we will, after tonight, we will forego the schedule. We have found that because of the timing, that we're not in sync with how the content when they go live. When the Chatworthy creators go live, we're not live. And there's a lot of things that happen right as we click off. The schedule is great. Apparently the schedule works. I've known this for years, that to offer people a schedule is the way to go, and Mimi helped me with that from the beginning, is that craft a schedule, have a schedule, stay with the schedule. There's no problem that I have with that. It's something I'm very proud of. I definitely know how to commit to a schedule. So we've been able to do that. But it is off kilter right now. Maybe that would have changed coming into the school months, maybe. But right now it feels as though our schedule is off kilter. And we've been okay with that because we have plenty to revisit and we know how to deal with the 3-2-1 replay. I never thought that that was going to be possible, but the fact that we can actually do that, and we can get to a proper time stamp, and so we have context, and then we can go forward, even though we know that each of us is listening, not in a pure real time. So that's been a real pleasure, meaning that we could actually be watching You've Got Mail right now. And talk about You've Got Mail. We can watch any content at any time. Yes. See, now that's opera for you. They go bat crazy at midnight like werewolves. So we do have a scout. Thank you very much, Soleil. Allegedly, Krama is live in 10 minutes. And we do have 10 minutes. More like gremlins. Well, whatever you do, do not drop your water. Do not spill your Stanley on anywhere near them, please. So, I'm so sorry. The newcomer has decided to roll in because I've been on the mic for quite a bit now, Bob. And I know. We need to be much more on this vacay. Vacay is also vacate, okay? That's what it means. You are supposed to vacay and vacate. Oh, man. So what did you guys think about that? We've been, 4 hours times 60 plus days. And there would be these beautiful, wonderful people watching that decided to jump in yesterday. What do you think about that? I was so in awe of what's possible. I really was. And of course it's turned into painful awe. Thank you, Soleil. I mean, yeah, I think that was definitely a theme, and we've talked about it now, okay, that we cannot be a bomb shelter. We don't have what it takes to feed, fuel, protect. We just don't. This is what yesterday, the heartbreak of yesterday, is that I can be a creative. I can, like I told you, I can go and discuss this with any number of people that are wise and able to guide us. And the best thing that I can do is say what I said earlier and write out what I wrote earlier. You brought that point up too. Isn't it something else that people actually read our chat? It's absolutely I think it's because we just chat. Yeah. Well, I think that you got hit by Charming Jenna, right? I don't know what you got hit. Yes, right. Yeah. Bowdy says, I missed the chat yesterday because I had to work and watched most of it on replay, but I'm glad folks had somewhere to go. Yeah, I don't know, Bog, if it's something that we can, like, assume, but I think that we have a posture of some sort. That it's okay that I don't know all about it, but there's definitely a posture. So it should be a posture where other creators want to also have their secondary or their satellite outreach to be just a chat. It should be. But yeah. And because of yesterday, I suppose, we could congratulate ourselves that it has been consistently safe. And I don't know exactly how we've done this. For the Pollyanna side of me, it's because we're, at our core, we're good people. And then that becomes kind of like, if you saw me talk about rye bread, the difference between a good rye and a not so good rye, you might not call me a good person. So it's not so much that we're good, and I don't think we're all that different. I think that it's kind of like a great soup. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's just like a good stew. Like if you want to hop into a pot, this is a good pot to hop in. I don't know. It feels more like that. It reminded of the Swedish Chef, the Muppets, when he was trying to get all of the little crabs. But I don't want to call us little crabs. So yeah, we didn't think that it would happen the way that it did. It got unfurled and unfolded the way that it did. And of course, I thought for sure David Sachs was going to unfollow me on Twitter with all of the kingery talk. But just so that you know, even people, even people like David Sachs follow me, your beauty bubble, on Twitter. Yes, he does. So, people want to know, like I had told you, people want to know what I'm up to. And this is what I've been up to. I was very pleased that Rob Greenlee came in, and I do have to say that I did it because Bowdy was here. Some people are destined for Hall of Fame. Some people are. I try to be early. I try to be about 5 to 7 years early on these things. So, Bowdy, you may have to wait 5 to 7 years, but they rely on my observance, and my observance says. So they get in early. They always have. So even David Sachs has stayed with me during, I would say, the worst kind of posts I could make on X was about this Kingery fellow. And anyway, by doing that, I guess I had the time to understand what this character was all about. And I came to you guys and I said that what we're dealing with is an absolute. I know. We could all say you have no ambition, okay? Everybody, okay, guess what? I'm going to make you the princess of no ambition, okay? I'm doing it right now. Everybody, emoji only for the princess of no ambition. Bowdy. Emojis in the chat for 15 seconds, please. To honor the princess of no ambition, Miss Bowdy moving. There you go. Take it. Oh, she's also the princess of procrastination. Okay, there we go. So now she's wearing 2 crowns. It's going to get very heavy on you. Very, very heavy. For 15 seconds only. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your trust in me to know who deserves a crown, to be a princess. What she doesn't know is that she can say that all the livelong days, and what I'm able to do, what I could actually sort out in real time. Yes, a rich princess. Make sure it's the T-E-T-H. I'm a princess. I think there's an S in there somehow. Okay, enough of that. Take your bow, take your crowns, get off the stage, and take a seat, okay? I might have to put you in the loge. She has no ambition. I love it. Oh, man. If you only knew. It's so funny. All right. Anyway. So as I kind of found out, I came, right, we power up and I go, you guys. And we really thought we're not going to even talk about this. But you know what? I didn't want to so much do it that way. So I started to put out a lot of data points about what this all is and who all this is about. And I told you, he's a fraud. And to assign him as a fraudster, I don't know how we go from fraud to fraudster. I know, Velma came in yesterday. Velma. Velma, girl. Listen, Velma. I now know. It makes me so happy. Velma has been in the bushes. I mean, we thought we were the bushes. We had built an entire gorgeous line of bushes. Oh, well, I can see why. And sure enough, Velma, it's like the secret garden, isn't it? I don't know how you found the door. I don't know how you found the lock and the key. I don't know what made you step in, but it made all the difference for us yesterday. It really did. And Bog has done the same thing, made all the difference. I do not know how she found the secret garden, the door, the lock on the door, and the key. I don't know how that happened. Bowdy, I have no idea. We'll say the same thing to you. How you did it, why you did it, wearing dark glasses, how you found the dang door and the lock and key to find yourself here. Yeah. So we know that we did well for each other. I could say that we did well for each other. So we have to be good with that. And we do know more about balance, challenge, change. I think that we've learned quite a bit, at least how to put some words around it. And we've never really challenged ourselves too much, but when we have challenged ourselves, I think that Mimi and Soleil say it really well in the chat, that for some reason we're able to work it out, and we then sort it out, we work it out, and that the goal is to kind of stay together. So there's a great story. It's a story of a hurricane in Galveston. I don't know. I think it's called like the Nun's Rope or something like that. And so there was like a Catholic school or Pentecost school full of kids, and the hurricane comes through. And I'm telling you, this hurricane was going to take everybody. And a nun tied a rope onto a first baby and another baby and another baby. And when I say babies, the charges of the school. And she walked those kids out and through the hurricane to the other side and did not lose a one. I'll have to look up the story and put a link. So that, in my mind, is sort of what we've seen here, is that we are the rope. Let me just play around with some words, because this is how I whiteboard in my mind and with other people that listen to me. It's sort of kind of that the rope is the metaphor for change. Each one of us, at each knot, at each length, at how strong the rope is, we bring to us something unique, something different. Each one of us. We weigh different. We're a different height. We're a different strength. Some of us, our legs are strong. Some of us, our core is strong, and so forth. And our brain is right, and we know how to calm ourselves to help the agitated and all of that. It's not just one person that has the idea of how to tether everyone together. It's the fact that for her, for the nun, it was her mission to get her charges out, but yet they all had to walk through the hurricane. Because the hurricane didn't change. The hurricane isn't something that you can control. I'm never going to appoint nor anoint any of these people as being part of Mother Nature. I think this is an abomination. Abomination, I believe, is the way it's pronounced. It's an abomination of nature. This is not natural. For the pain, for all of the pain that's involved in this. This is not natural. And I'm not going to make it supernatural either. It's something that I don't know what it is. And like right today, I have to be okay with that. But that's the sort of thing that I feel now, especially with everyone here, is that there has been something of that happen. And I appreciate the fact that, that Twitter might offer some sort of mindset, or, that the message or whatever. And just so that you know, my message only comes from me. You'll notice we don't tag each other. I don't set anyone aside at all. These are just my ideas. So I'm not even the nun in this. I don't know who the nun is. I just know that we are all tethered There's a rope belt around each and every one of us that spans how many people? I don't know how many people, honestly. You guys see my stats every day. I don't know. But I do know that that is one of the better metaphors for me to look at it in that way. But it doesn't bind us. Let's talk about that for a moment. So, what do you guys call it? The bonding, right? Like this hate bonding, love bombing. You are not my charges. You are not my chattel. You're not my children. Once in a while I'll say, that I don't want to play Mother Goose here, but there's something in me that wants to, and maybe today it might even kind of feel that it's a little Mother Goosey. But I can't be your Mother Goose. You have your own Mother Gooses. There are other people on the internet that certainly serve as better Mother Gooses. I have a tendency to want to rant, and then I ramble. I'm not a public speaker. I don't write on this subject. I am asked, now that you've observed, what did you see, and what can we invest in? A lot. Would I buy Google tomorrow based on this experience? That would be no. Can we fully buy in to all of this? That's an absolute no. And we know that it's all ephemeral. If you guys can agree to that, this is all ephemeral. Everyone, who I am, what I am, and all of that is really just, it's just a pass-through. Like we all are here. It's just a pass-through. It can look like it's a family. We're not a family. Yeah, exactly. It's all who I am. And it's all who you are. And it's also not a lecture. It's not a place to have a lectern. It's not for me to... okay, so it's kind of fun, right? When Bog came in, we had already known, if you've been on the internet long enough, there was a time in the Bitcoin community where I was called the Queen of the Trolls. They put that on my head. I was the Queen of the Trolls. I ate troll meat every day, all day, 24/7. So, of course, hearing and first, air quote, meeting Bog when she came forward onto Brittany Jackson's panel, of course, I knew her. I knew them. I knew what it was. And what's crazy about that is that I have to tell you that I was probably giggling more than I have, embarrassingly so. Especially when she came out with the Satanist part. So for her, she was able to say, I'm a Satanist. She didn't say she was satanic, she said that she was a Satanist. And of course, if I had known her, I would have been able to say, and brace yourself for a moment, but I am known as the woman who only sucks diamond dick. Okay? The Queen of the Trolls who only sucks diamond dick. The woman that you are hearing from today used to be referred to as that person in the Bitcoin forums. The song that's been written about that has over 500,000 downloads. So meeting Bog in the way that I did was almost like, oh no, she's going to have to go through all this shit. I can't believe this. Oh my God, if I could only have 5 minutes, you know? If I could only have 5 minutes, man, oh man. And what would happen? It took a while, but she found herself. Yeah. And I bet each one of us, whether it's some sort of misunderstanding that we had with the community, or, you know, that we relate to one another in a way that is, it's uncanny, really. It's not like super important or anything like that. Like, it's a value. We've talked about, can we offer great value? There are a lot of YouTube gurus that have said to me, Beauty, you have to offer value. I mean, the greatest value that YouTube has. You have to do that. That's why you're not successful on YouTube. You have to offer great value. Where do you think Walmart got that idea? I'm just saying. So, I don't know. Exactly. Great value like Walmart. Yep. Yes, Mimi, that's exactly where it comes from. So, all right. Oh, 10 minutes. Are we missing somebody? Oh, thanks, Bowdy. All right, well, let's take a listen, and we're going to do it this way. I think I'm going to voice my, how can I do, I have to get some earbuds in, don't I? Let me either move to get my headphones and see if it works. I do have to try something then, okay, guys? Because I have to be able to listen to her but have it not pass through OBS. I have not done that exactly, because unless she's in my browser on OBS, I might not be able to do both. I could put her on my iPad. Okay. This will be a first. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Thank you very much for the good scout. Bowdy for the good scout today. Thank you. And then who else talked about that she was going to be on? All right, this is our link. And you guys enjoy while I work out some production stuff. Yep. Yep, Mimi, I think Mimi got it. Okay, good. And this is final review of the kick stream and trying to figure out some things together. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see what happens there. Let us see. Okay, here is the name of her. Whoa, final review. Oh. Okay, so I'm up on a production mute, okay? I'm on a production mute. All right, I may be on a bit of a delay because I have it up on my iPad with earbuds. So like right now she's talking about moderators and the block button, so we may be just a bit ahead. Ahead or behind, one of the two. She's about to make Earth a mod. Oof. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Dear me. Oh yeah. Who got blocked from where? Petty switched camp. What in the world? If you can, let me know how far enough back I am, because it might mess up what you're listening to. Yeah, I think that her idea of listening to the judge when he says, well, maybe you should, you know. In a way, though, he has a responsibility that he could say, yeah, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. But apparently he said, maybe you should. Who be Darcy? Oh, who be Darcy? Ooh. This is why we don't have moderators. Now, Bog, you know you can't be a moderator. Lord have mercy. Make an Earth a moderator? Yeah, this part is really interesting when she's covering what she could do, what she couldn't say. I don't know. I would have needed that in writing myself. I bet if she had asked someone else, they would have given her a different answer. Oh, you're a Mod and Earth channel. Okay. See, you guys know her content so much more than I do. I don't know the difference between puddin', wrapper, vibrator, petty. What a crazy panel this was over at Kick. My God. Oh, all right. I know. I don't know who Rapper is. Bowdy got the secrets. I've always liked Dead Houseplant. The other one was tuna fish casserole. We like that one too. Oh, I didn't catch that part. Oh. And they're over at Allegedly Chroma? Like doing that? Puddin'. Ouch. And they're over there at her chat, huh? Huh? We're in our good to know era, by the way, here at Chat Only. Good to know.
What's going on?
Okay. Are they taking over her chat? What now? Oh dear, I have to get her chat up. Oh, I see. Okay. Scotty Dog's over there. Scotty Dog says, "Rapper, stop. Dang you, rapper." Okay, I get it now. Skolnick is talking about allegedly trauma in this, I believe. Oh, that's right, because she decided to go over there and talk. Okay, I remember now. Man, and Julie's just on the chat, man. She doesn't want to contribute to the interview. She's just all over the chat. So we know that we're getting a little bit of self-snitch from Skolnick on how she plans on presenting her argument. I just don't know if the prosecutor's going to go for it, because we really haven't heard his argument yet. Oh, I guess that isn't true. In the transcript, he did... What did the prosecutor say about Craig's threats? I'll have to revisit the transcript. I think he's going to be able to get it on nuance. I think an internet threat sounds completely different. The thing is, though, is that she was able to do this on the internet and transgress in front of the court. So we can have all these ideas. The fact is that she was able to do it. She has experience with the mechanism now, so I think that we can use the mechanism and also fear for our safety. And I think that we get to be drastic and dramatic. It's the, protect and serve is when you go to the police. They have to be able to monitor, curate, cull our hysterics, calm us down. They may not be very good at it. Actively interfering. Yeah. What now did she say? She gives it to nonsense. So allegedly Krama is being used as the mule here? Is that what I just heard? And Julie's trying to make the creators the mule for the video leak. I wonder if that's so. Let me check her chat. I don't know. What is this whole thing about, imagine how you would feel? No, I don't want to imagine how I would feel, because I'm supposed to be listening to you. I'm supposed to be listening to your evidence, your facts, your complaints, because you've taken it to and through law enforcement. I don't need, I don't need to know how I would feel. Why do they keep talking like that? I don't need to know how I feel. The judge is going to, I know how you feel. And so I'm going to, dispense my authority based on my feelings. Not that I need kudos or anything, but does this work for you guys? Or are you putting my voice maybe on a lower vibration or what? Just so that I know, because it's really a technical test right now. Keeping my dBs exactly as they were when I was speaking before. Oh, okay, I see. So it's hard to listen to both, because she's playing Julie too. Might be the tone and tempo too, right? Right. Did she remove the comment? Just curious, Bog. She keeping the comment in the chat? Of course. Oh, you mean... Oh, man. Oh, I see. So this particular method of her broadcasting is a bit difficult for us because she's doing a lot of stop and starts and commentary, which is her style, but because it's a Julie on the other end, you know, she's got Julie on the play out from that Kick interview, that it's hard. Also, she's very, allegedly Krama is, like, she knows herself. She knows what she wants to put out there. So she's being very, very talkative. But also because we know that she was in the chat. So she's going back in history with her own self and then bringing it forward with the broadcasting. So it's pretty difficult to make any kind of fruitful commentary from our point of view. I don't know. Final review of the Kick stream and trying to figure out some things together. Remember, that's the name of her broadcast. It seems as though she wants to really over-explain what her position was in contributing to the chat over there. I don't know if was she eventually blocked? I can't remember. And then there was a secondary upload too by the interviewee. Wasn't there? She did her own review? I think so. See, I don't believe in this martyrdom. I think that this has more of an, you guys say performative. I think it's an academic performance that she's doing. If you remember, she shared that her family are high academics in Jewish studies, etc. You know, she grew up, her father was a rabbi. So I think that I don't think she's playing a martyr. It's not nothing. It's something that we don't know about. From her upbringing, from discussion points, to how they're projecting the Jewish plight from an academic point of view. She has found her carrier. Remember when we talked about she has found her own way of carrying this forward, being that she did not pursue her education like her family. So I could say that she's really trying to fit in with her side of the family dynamic. And of course, Al isn't of the same, right? He's Catholic. He did not grow up in this way. If I remember correctly, he's a Catholic schoolboy, and so he did not grow up in the same way that Julie did. She has a lot of competition in her family to be up with it, you know, to both know the history, the consequence, and she just so happens to have found something that I think is easier. Exactly. I think that she is trying to do that as well. It's just it's a case that's poorly formed, and being that Black has tried to position himself through his wife it's already kind of weakened. So this is just an idea. Are you guys thinking that way at all, or are you still stuck on the threat, no threat, felony, civil disobedience? It's a nuanced threat because it's the internet. What are you guys thinking? There you go. So allegedly has her own backstory. And so her wounds are longer stead. You know, they're any time that hearth and home is at risk, right? It's going to have a little bit longer tissue, longer DNA with our thoughts and opinions. Does that make sense? This is what's really interesting about Skolnick, is that she always has an out. That her position goes from advocate to adjutant to martyr. And this is just the way it comes across, right? For you guys to martyr. She's looking for sympathy, empathy. Yeah, I do think that it has something to do with standing within the family, and that might be why they all get along too, that they're all fighting for that pole position, and kind of look at it like a totem pole park. They're all looking for pole position, and car racing too. You'll hear quite a bit about how long they've been at this, how long the suffering has been long, that she's been doing this on TikTok for a long time. So, as the elder wounded, yeah. Oh, we now know that? Oh, did they have the printout for the hearing? Oh. So she can appear by Zoom again? Oh my gosh. So we can't trust any of that anymore then. Yeah. Oh, I see. He opened up the non-compliance problem, having to chase them down for fines to be paid and such. Remember, this is the prosecutor speaking. This is his objective. This is what he wants to see the court act on. What do we think about that? What was the comment now? Let's see. Bowdy's making some good comments about there will never be an extradition from North Carolina to New Jersey, but if they do get the conviction, their life in North Carolina will be affected. People saying that they're never going to go to court. Someone coming in about Foxy Lady, I don't know who that is as a creator. Whoa. Allegedly speculating is giving Elevated a pass. I don't agree with everything that he says. Man. What do you mean, Mimi, by that? Oh, you mean how much air did she suck out of the room? Yeah, I mean, I suppose if at his tenure, I believe that he's probably more towards the end of his career. He's probably looking for, people he can play cards with. He certainly doesn't need any enemies. I mean, he solves traffic violations. So he doesn't need to have Julie haunt him. That this was a case that he thought would be a simple case, and then it ends up being some sort of platform for I don't even know, the Jewish cause or something. When she's talking about doxing civil servants, I don't know where she's getting off on this. I think it's just a punctuation for her. We're not supposed to do that. Well, the nature of public service, community service, municipal service is that you are made available to the public. So I don't understand that. It's just another punctuation. Yep. And yeah, she's just using it and she's done it before too in that way. It's just a punctuation. Have we learned anything about the New Jersey laws? So now we're in a wait and see, according to Skolnick? And to reserve judgment? Yeah. Yes, Mimi. Thank you so much, Mimi. I don't know how much longer we'll go. We've lost a little bit of the audience. I think this might be a little too difficult because of the review sort of thing. We're not getting kind of a straight arrow. The content is a little bit more convoluted. It's easier when we're listening to it, I think, rather than listening and chatting than me speaking over it, even though it's good. It's a good experience for me. I just don't know if it's useful. But we are on our 2 hour, so I'll go ahead and put the chimes up. And if you are leaving, we'll go ahead and do our triggers for the day and night. And reminding you that you've been listening, watching to chat only here on YouTube. I'm your host, Beauty Bubble. I'm on YouTube and, of course, on X, where I learned today that most people are finding us from X. We go live 2 times a day. According to the PST, 9 o'clock in the morning is our daytime session, which we're on right now, and 6 p.m. PST is our evening session. We rarely know what the topic is. Today it was obvious that we are dealing with our concerns about two uploads, one from Kick and then one from YouTube by a creator commonly known as Elevated Truth. And we had to really work through some of the disgusting ideas and ideals that we were cast. So we were able to talk about these things. It's very important to use your words. I did decide to go on mic for this because it's not quite right for me to just remain in chat over this and for you to hear what would be my hesitation, my inability to craft all of this well enough. And we've been live for 2 hours with me on mic for a lot of the time. I don't know if I was able to get through or break through any better, but I appreciate the kind words. We'll go ahead and, in our tradition here at Chat Only, we always mention with kindness and thoughtfulness the missing ones that have brought us all together. So usually I put in the chat, you'll see it, the triggers for the names of the missing. Please be mindful of these lost people. What I've noticed is that through using the words, we just don't know. We don't know where they will go. We don't know how they will hit in time. And usually I put out the tradition post and then I start with my triggers. But anybody can do these triggers, I believe, is the way that I've got it set up. But the first trigger is for Sebastian. And this is a case that comes out of Canada that has been long unsolved. And if you want to know anything more specifically about it, then you'll sort out looking for Mimi or Tybo Michelle in our chat. And our next one is trigger exclamation Summer Wells. Please be made aware that come June, I say it every once in a while, June 15th. Yes, June 15th, it'll be 5 years that she's been missing, and nothing has come up in order for us to help even further than we have. But once again, use her name, maybe put together your own chat in your YouTube channel that can do the same thing. You can use Nightbot just like I am here. We don't have all the character accounts that we can use to express what the case is, so I've just done it in the most gentle way that I can, simplest way that I can. The next case, of course, is Sebastian Rogers. This is the case where many of us have found one another, and so he has a trigger also exclamation point Sebastian. The next one are the Sullivan children. There's still quite a bit of YouTube content out there on the Sullivans, and they're also out of Canada. And the next one is Nancy Guthrie. This case was the first case that I grabbed another broadcaster's content and started using it. I don't think I got on mic during any of that content. But of course, many creators still cover Nancy Guthrie. And then the last one is that because we have chat-worthy creators, our kind of our basket of creators, it's wide enough, but it's informed enough that we find out about health challenges. And so the next one, really, we do the trigger Belinda, and I will go ahead and put the trigger Belinda. And there are actually 3 creators, and I just haven't been able to get confirmation from the 3rd creator, Trip, I believe. And so we have Belinda and Granny's Watching, and then Trip. I need to add Trip, but I just haven't been able to confirm what the need is for us to lift them up in any way that we can. So we do that every single time on chat only. Following, I'll go ahead, and I only put the socials in 2 times a session, one at the very beginning. I try to do it towards the end as well, and then as we sign off, you'll get a bunch of statistics down below. I used to put this out on X. It's easier for me to just keep it inside of YouTube, where I can be reminded a little better. Okay, so allegedly Krama is now moving into the elevated truth, speaking to nonsense through a panel of Kit creators, but he did it on a Kit creator's YouTube channel. I don't know exactly how that all worked out. So we'll go ahead and bow out. Thank you very much, guys. And you'll see us at 6 p.m. PST for another 2 hours of... Wait, so chat only goes live 2 times a day? Huh? All right. Bye-bye now.